everyone, it's Amy and welcome, or maybe welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be answering one of the most frequently asked questions that I get from people who are thinking of moving to Bahrain, about to move to Bahrain, maybe even just going to Bahrain for a short visit. And that is, what do I pack when I'm going to Bahrain? So since I've been getting so many messages from people asking for advice on this topic, I thought it would just make a bunch of sense to make a video about it, since clearly a lot of people want to know. Before we jump into today's video, I have a really quick, very exciting announcement. You guys have spoken, you told me that you want to do a 5-day community declutter where we all get together and get rid of a bunch of our junk. So I'm going to be bringing that to you next week, starting on Monday, and I'm going to be bringing more information on that in Saturday's video. So don't forget about that. Really exciting. If you're excited about getting rid of junk, you will love it. Okay, so let's talk about what I think you should pack if you are moving to Bahrain or maybe just going there for a visit. The first thing I want to talk about, because it is the thing that I think a lot of people are most stressed out about, is clothes. I made a whole video a little while back about what to wear if you are a Western woman living in the Middle East. I'll link that down below. I did mention some tips on what to wear in Bahrain in that video, but it was more so focused around Kuwait. So let's talk about what you can actually wear in Bahrain. You can actually wear anything in Bahrain. A lot of times when people think Middle East, they're thinking more about kind of Saudi Arabia and how that can be quite strict on what you can wear, and people think, oh, am I going to have to wear an abaya? Am I going to have to cover my hair? No. There are a lot of Westerners in Bahrain, and there are especially a lot of little pockets of Western communities. I've seen shorts, I've seen crop tops, I've seen miniskirts, I've seen it all. I've seen some questionable outfits that kind of look like lingerie. But hey, to each their own. So don't get too wrapped up in thinking that you need to go out and buy an entirely new wardrobe for your life in Bahrain, because odds are the things that you already own will work perfectly well over there. Obviously, there are exceptions to that rule. If you want to go, for instance, into the Grand Mosque, they give you an abaya to wear anyway, but I would say even just approaching the Grand Mosque, cover yourself up. Like when I would visit the souk, I would always cover up a little bit more, just because I didn't want to attract attention to myself. And in places like the souk, there aren't that many Western women wandering around as a rule of thumb. So you really don't want to be there with your shorts on when everyone else is wearing an abaya, just because it makes you stick out and feel a little bit uncomfortable. And you also need to take into account that you do need to dress a little bit more modestly for Ramadan. I have a whole other video about the do's and don'ts for Ramadan in Bahrain, so I'll link that one down below too. The same thing goes for men. You're allowed to wear shorts, you're allowed to wear t-shirts, but just during Ramadan, keep it a little bit more respectful and don't wear out any tank tops or short shorts or anything like that. While we are on the topic of clothing, it's really important to keep in mind the weather and the types of clothes that you're actually going to need. It gets hot. Hotter than hot. You know, like when you're baking and you open the oven and the air comes out and hits you in the face, it's so hot? That's what it's like stepping outside your apartment building in Bahrain at this time of year. It's hot. So you really want to make sure that the clothes you pack are loose fitting and lightweight. But bear in mind that it does cool down quite a lot in the winter. So have maybe a light jacket, a scarf. You're not going to need to wrap up in your thermals like as if you're in Canada, but just have something long sleeve and a little bit warmer, because the temperature does dip down a little bit. The next thing that I think you should pack when you are moving to Bahrain is your favorite cosmetics and beauty items. They have Boots in Bahrain, they have Sephora in Bahrain, they have MAC, they have Urban Decay, they have Lush. They have pretty much everything, but it's more expensive. All of these things are obviously being imported, and that very much reflects in the price. So for example, last month I went to replace my Lush shampoo bar, and when I got it in the Lush shop in Bahrain, it was 7BD 880 fils, which is about £17-ish. Whereas back here in the UK, if I bought it, it would be £8. So it's like twice the price. For that reason, I always liked to stock up on my favorite cosmetics and toiletries, just because it was cheaper to do it that way. Another question that I get asked pretty frequently by women who are moving to Bahrain is whether they should take their tampons with them. I always did. I always took a bunch. I mean, they're really light. They don't take up that much space in your suitcase, and it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. They do have them for sale in some of the bigger supermarkets, but it's not like here in the UK where you can run into any corner shop or any drugstore and they have them. They're a little bit harder to find, so you can get them there, but I always preferred to just have a stack of them at home ready to go. The next thing that I recommend that you pack to take with you to Bahrain says a lot about me as a person, and that's snacks and food items, because again, your favorite food items that are from the UK, America, wherever you're moving from, they might have them in Bahrain, they probably do, but they're going to be so much more expensive because they're imported. I'm talking, I was paying £5 for a small box of Cheerios every week. It's madness. So if you are someone who likes a particular type of like snack or treat, then I recommend taking it with you. The next thing that you should take with you when you're moving to Bahrain probably should have been the first thing we talked about, because it is definitely the most important, but you can see how my mind works. Clothes, food, then important paperwork and documents. I 100% recommend taking a printed copy of your contract if you are going to Bahrain to work. Have that in your hands. Just talking from experience. Always have your contract. Always have a copy of your contract. Don't let anyone take it away from you. Different story for a different day. Have a copy of your contract and take it with you. Also make sure you have physical copies of any certificates. Make sure you've got a photocopy of your passport in case anybody wants those details and you don't want to give the passport over to them. Again, I have a story about people taking my passport. I got a bunch of stories. Maybe I should start making stories about my crazy antics in the Middle East. That's a different topic for a different day, but have physical copies of all these things and take them in your hand luggage, because you never know what kind of documentation or certificates you might need when you're out there, and it's better to have it with you than think, oh yeah, that's really useful to me in my storage container at home. And the last thing that I recommend packing to take to Bahrain with you is anything that is going to help to make it feel like home. One of the coolest things that I think makes Bahrain such a fabulous place for expats is that most of the apartments come fully furnished. We're talking beds, pillows, saucepans, cutlery, tables, chairs, paintings. You just turn up with your clothes and you're ready to live your life. It's really cool. It makes moving around really convenient, and it really sets you up to just get there and start living your new life. But it's not your apartment, and if it's not decorated the way that you like, and if everything kind of feels like it's someone else's, because it is, then it's nice to have a few things here and there, just, you know, around the place that make it feel like your own. That's something I didn't do when I lived in Kuwait, and okay, there is no way that I was making that apartment feel like home anyway. I'll leave my apartment video down below for when I lived in Kuwait, the apartment tour. That was never going to feel like my home. But definitely in my apartment in Bahrain, I took a few little bits and pieces of my own, and it really helped me to settle in and feel like this is where I belong. And on that note, I think the most important thing to keep in mind when you are packing to move anywhere is to take the things that bring you joy. You know, you want your life to be full of things that you love, full of things that make you happy, full of things that make your day a little bit better. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope it helped you to realize that you don't really need to take that much stuff when you move. Take the stuff that you love, take the stuff that you feel like you are going to get use out of, but pretty much everything either will come with your apartment or is readily available in the shops there. You can really keep your packing to a minimum, which I wish I had done. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know. Also, don't forget to take a second, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you soon. Bye!